Yo, right here in the small box.
Now another day, another bad complex list, but it looks like Akademiks has came out as #1 in this ranking. Funny enough, the person that he could be beefing with is at #2 with Joe Budden. Now they have already had some type of tension. People have been noticing this since Joe Budden had brought up Steak and the lawsuit involving Drake and Akademiks and adinross. But after this list was created, Akademiks had went and did an interview where he talked about the ranking, if he could remove people, change people, if he could remove anybody from the top 10 of the list. And Joe Budden and Akademiks were in question by the host. He had asked Akademiks, would you remove or change yourself from #1 and put Joe Budden at #2, where he responded that Joe can't mess with him.
Yourself and your good brother, Joe Budden. So first, before we even get into it, do you think you are the most powerful person in hip-hop media right now?
Yeah. I'm rocking with this list for this year, yeah. This is, I told people, I feel like this is my journey here, so I think that's accurate.
There's only one way.
Okay.
You're above him.
No.
Do you agree with that?
But here's the thing. So I'm looking at this in voice. I think Joe has an amazing platform.
You get into semantics, man. What are we?
Joe Budden has a way more powerful voice than Akademiks. The only reason why Akademiks has the voice he has is because of the younger generation. For the older generation, Akademiks does not want smoke with Joe Budden because Joe Budden cannot be messed with. If you pay attention to the Joe Budden podcast and how it can affect hip-hop, then you would understand that Joe Budden and them are they're actually the #1. Like, high key. I ain't gonna lie to you. They chose Akademiks for engagement.
Talk about, yo.
No, it ain't no semantics. Joe can't fuck with me. That's my nigga. Okay. He can't fuck with me. What I'm saying is that
I always hate when somebody tries to come out here and say, oh, they can't fuck with me, but that's my guy. That's my man. Like, you're just kicking his back in. Fact. And you're trying to make up for it by giving him a passive-aggressive compliment. This is backhanded compliments if I ever saw one. And this is not the first time where Joe Budden and Akademiks have had kind of a back and forth this year. And Joe Budden had reacted to the list and what Akademiks had said.
And at 1, DJ Akademiks.
Ak, what up?
What up, Ak? Ak, what up, bro?
Salute.
Congrats. Ak, I hear your little streams, nigga. You want war? Hey, what's up? You try to turn shit up?
What? The one thing I give Joe is that when it comes to music and comedy, it's like this. I didn't even think that was like a bag to get into, just mixing music with comedy like that, where you have the music commentary, but you're adding some comedic elements to it. Like, this is why I watch it consistently. I watch I watch all the Joe Budden podcast clips. I watch every episode. I don't pay for the Patreon. I'm not paying for Patreon because people are going to post it regardless, like scores and assists. So I don't have to worry about no Patreon episodes. But I watch anything I can get my hands on. And then when I go on Twitter, people are posting clips from the Patreon episodes. So I'm good. I don't need to pay for Patreon. So that's the magic behind it. But I be watching them consistently, bro. They show funny as shit. I ain't gonna lie. Yo, when Joe Budden and Ish had that argument about Oxtail on the flow, that shit is hilarious.
I gotta call my man to see what's going on.
I've been hearing something. I didn't know what went wrong. I've been hearing something. I've been hearing something.
I feel like all the people that was on Drake's side, it's just time for them to get their shit off with Iceman coming. So I'm not really. I feel like that's what it is.
You think you just collateral damage?
I was on the.
This is why Joe is nigga. Did y'all hear that?
And this is another.
Did y'all hear that, bruh? Let me put it back a little
Let me
bit.
get this shit off with Iceman coming. So I'm not really.
Hold on, let me go back.
And to see what's going on.
I've been hearing something. I didn't know what went wrong. I've been hearing something. I've been hearing something.
I feel like all the people that was on Drake's side, it's just time for them to get their shit off with Iceman coming. So I'm not really. I feel like that's what it is.
You think you just collateral damage?
I was on the.
Say the thing out loud. Say the thing out loud. A lot of people are thinking it, but they're not saying it. Joe Budden is going to say it out loud because he don't give a damn.
And this is another thing that I have to say, bro. Akademiks has been pumping his chest out a lot recently because Iceman coming out. But the fact that him and Joe Budden are going at it in this way, at least it seems like it's tension building up. It could be because of Akademiks and his allegiance to Drake, but also the fact that Joe Budden had brought up his lawsuit as well.
Other side of this,
I don't know who dressed Queen's Flip, but he looked like a good father.
And then we had the fucking state conversation that he replied to. I don't know. I just got to call my man and see what's going on. But 1 and 2, 2 and 1, tomato. Again, the same. What he wants to do.
And it seems like Joe Budden is trying to keep it friendly. A friendly fade, you should keep it that way. It's the feeling that I'm getting from this whole video, and especially when he talks about Steak. Joe Budden has already gone on his podcast to talk about the Drake lawsuit involving Steak, Akademiks, and adinross. And as of recently, Joe Budden has mentioned the lawsuit a few times.
It's crazy. I start thinking of just how old I mean, we can move on. We can find something to talk about Drake and whatever they're doing at Steak. I do know that. I like that scam. It's a good scam, yo. Like, at some point you're gonna get caught, but for the money that they made and what they did and what they man, that's just. Am I even allowed to talk about this shit? Maybe. Anyway, what was I saying? What was I saying before I started talking about Steak?
Now, this is just one of the clips, but Joe Budden has recently talked about this situation involving Akademiks and Steak with a recent lawsuit in New Jersey, where apparently Joe Budden had read it. And it's fair to say that Akademiks was upset at Joe Budden for speaking on this lawsuit in the first place, and that Joe Budden shouldn't even be talking about something like this. Despite everybody else talking about this as news and coverage, this was a story that not only Joe Budden covered, but everybody probably on that list as well. But Akademiks has a problem with Joe Budden, and it's starting to show now.
Joe Budden's on his podcast reading a fucking lawsuit that is so frivolous that if he looked at on face value, the lawsuit says that Steak is botting streams. Like Steak is running some fake program to bot streams. And that
No. Don't try to discredit it now, little boy. Don't do that. Don't try to take the power out the lawsuit knowing that that lawsuit could be the end of you. Don't do that. Don't run away scared now, little boy.
Drake has a gambling deal to get fake stream. Like, they actually read that shit like the shit was legit. No, that's just something else. They're trying to take Drake down a notch. There's 8 other lawsuits, 8 other fucking states that they have filed the same thing in. Do you think that Steak is like sitting here like, oh, let's get Drake some streams? Okay, beyond that, I don't expect the Joe Budden podcast who hires Mona to fucking do their due diligence. They're just reading off the paper. Got you. All right, bet. So now I'm watching the whole thing, and it's clearly.
That's the thing with Akademiks, bruh. That's the thing with Akademiks. I don't know what it is about this dude and women. But anytime you have a female voice that has power in the media space, he immediately attacks. Are you scared? Are you afraid? I will not forget what you said about Lauren LaRosa. I will never forget what you said about her. Mona being on the Joe Budden podcast, that aggravates him. Having Mona on that platform is literally Akademiks' kryptonite, which is why Akademiks could never be better than Joe. Because all Joe needs to do is let Mona talk. Mona is literally there on the platform to talk shit. That's it. And she's good at what she do. And on top of that, she's a comedian, so she don't give a shit. That's why Joe Budden will always outrank Akademiks. Joe Budden has more hip-hop knowledge than Akademiks. And all you got to do is make Akademiks angry, and he loses his power to the point where he's just something to be clip-farmed. That's why Akademiks can never beat Joe Budden. That's the strategy Joe Budden needs to use to get him out of here. That's how you defeat Akademiks. Funny enough, with a woman. That's crazy.
Inaccurate. It's mentions in a lawsuit this elaborate conspiracy theory that they're saying is a civil RICO, and they said supposedly Akademiks, Steak, Kick are all doing this scheme using fake money to inflate Drake streams.
Now, obviously, Akademiks is going to call this lawsuit frivolous. There is multiple lawsuits in multiple states, and the recent one is New Jersey, which I believe Akademiks is from. But the primary concern for this recent lawsuit, at least talking about this one, is the issues with Steak in the state of New Jersey. Drake and adinross, Akademiks, and gambling website stake.us have all been named in an illegal gambling and racketeering lawsuit filed in New Jersey on Wednesday, April 22nd. The suit echoes similar lawsuits involving Drizzy and Ross that have been filed in Missouri, New Mexico, and most recently Virginia. Court documents reviewed by Complex shows that Jason Nufio of Roselle, New Jersey, is claiming he lost money on stake.us and that the online casino violates state gambling regulations. It comes after New Jersey passed legislation on August 15, 2025, making it no longer legal to join or participate in a sweepstakes casino while in the state. Nufio and his lawyers allege that Drake, Ross, and Akademiks have all used their celebrity status to promote Stake while hiding their deals with the platform.
Facts.
Like the other lawsuits, the plaintiff also accuses Stake of financing a scheme to inflate Drake's streaming numbers. Akademiks is specifically accused of knowingly and directly assisting Drake's
I mean, Grand Wizard already been exposed. It's just that not enough people cared.
Inflation of his streaming numbers through bot networks by publishing and promoting information that he knew to be false, while getting paid out through Stake's tipping feature. According to the court documents, Nufio claims ads for Stake concealed that the fact that Drake and Adinross faced no genuine financial risk, while ordinary consumers who followed their lead and placed similar wages stood to lose real money. They have inflicted harm on consumers across the state who have lost real money chasing gambling wins on the Stake platform. The lawsuit also alleges that Stake uses virtual currency called gold coins as a fig leaf to superficially avoid the appearance of illegal gambling and afford Stake a veneer of deniability. Nufio is seeking recovery of his gambling losses, among other damages. But again, the primary concern for the victim is that he's claiming he lost his money from Stake while in New Jersey, where Stake violates his gambling regulations, while at the same time promoting Stake and what appears to be some type of false advertisement. You see Drake and Akademiks and all these people winning, and you think that you're going to get on and do the same. And on top of that, the person in this lawsuit is also trying to claim that Akademiks is specifically accused of knowing and directly assisting Drake's inflation of his streaming numbers through bot networks. So it's not like how Akademiks is trying to spin it. The allegation is that Akademiks was paid via Stake to promote Drake and present his streaming success as organic, while allegedly helping legitimize numbers that may have been artificially inflated. But Akademiks is trying to spin it, but this is an ongoing lawsuit, and we'll have to keep it alleged as far as the accusations go. But after Joe Budden talking about that, and after this list coming out, it's no surprise that Joe Budden had decided to call out Akademiks over what has been going on as of the recent weeks. And even though Joe Budden is joking around, I do think that he does mean what he's saying when he calls out Akademiks this way. I think they both feel some type of way about each other. But to be honest, I think Akademiks is mad at Joe Budden for calling him out, for calling this lawsuit out. He also called Akademiks out for having a gambling addiction. There was a whole bunch of things that have led up to this point.
But he does.
And I think this list might be the beginning of Joe Budden and Akademiks going at it. And it's crazy that Akademiks and Joe...
They won't go at it. That's the reality with this. They're two... They literally had, like, okay, not a similar come up, but in the media space, when they started at Everyday Struggle together, that's they come up in the media space. So they had a similar come up. Akademiks has been on the Joe Budden podcast at least 3-4 times. They're friends. Akademiks is the one that's always going to Joe Budden for confirmation on a lot of things. Because Joe Budden be talking to a lot of big figures behind the scenes. So you got to understand that. One thing, okay, here's a freebie. When it comes to verses, Joe Budden be talking with Swizz Beatz consistently. I lied, not consistently, but the last time they talked, it was like for 3 hours. Because Joe Budden really be trying to get these verses running. Like, when it comes to Wale and Meek Mill, Joe Budden and his whole team, they want that verses. It's funny as hell. But Joe Budden be talking to a lot of big people behind the scenes. A lot of people with big companies behind the scenes. Because he's consistently making a lot of deals. So that they can not only have people on the podcast, but to have better engagement, overall quality, and just like more business deals with the other people for the sake of his network or net worth, right? So that's the trick with Joe Budden. He's a business dude. Like the rap shit, he's done with that. I ain't gonna lie to you. You never see him rap again, but he's a business dude. He about his business. And Akademiks over here, you're not beating Joe Budden at that. I'm sorry.
Budden are going at it with each other like this, and it probably is because of Akademiks' allegiance to Drake. We know that Joe Budden and Akademiks have had some type of respect for one another, but Akademiks has been writing for Drake for so long it looks like he's starting to make the enemies that Drake has. If Joe Budden is not cool with Drake, that doesn't mean that Akademiks has to get into the middle of that. That doesn't mean that Akademiks has to start beef with Joe Budden. But it's starting to look that way as things are starting to play out. And why is Akademiks going so hard for Drake? It kind of makes you think, are these allegations true? Is this the reason why he has a Stake deal? Is it because of Drake? We know that Drake is the face of Stake, but we'll keep it alleged on that part. But it is strange to see Akademiks go so hard, even going at somebody like Joe Budden, someone he's always respected ever since they worked together on Everyday Struggle. It's just a crazy thing to see how somebody's blind loyalty could burn bridges that he's had for a long time. And I'm not saying that the allegations are true, but the loyalty has to come with a cost, does it not? Either way, we'll keep it alleged. But Akademiks is acting extra salty after hearing Joe Budden speak on the lawsuits. Y'all tell me how you feel about this in the comments and get back to me, man. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Keep it alleged.
Talked about the same things, bro. I'm telling you. So it's not a surprise to me. It's really not a surprise to me at all. So I watched that show too much to know what their friendship status is at. They're going to jab at each other, but they're never going to hate each other. That's the reality with it. So it's nothing for me to really worry about, to be honest. So just got to keep moving forward with it, you know. But W video by thevill, so that was dope. My final thought is there ain't no war, all right? A lot of people are going to be wow, words are hard. A lot of people are going to be blowing this out of proportion. The headlines, we already seen the headlines. Yo, is this a potential media, hip-hop media? Yeah, no. Blowing it out of proportion because y'all don't know the relationship with Joe and Akademiks. They cool. They gonna jab at each other. They gonna cuss each other out, but they still gonna be friends because they do get money together. It's what it is. And remember what I talked about a while back when it comes to people in business relationships. All right, if they get money together, they're going to be friends. In fact, they're going to be best friends if they get money together. So, their friendship is strong. All right.